Alright guys, Shade Tree Mechanic here. So I'm just going to do a pretty basic video for those who are not familiar with changing their own oil. So this is just a how-to on this particular model. It's going to be generally the same for most cars. So first thing you need is the jack stand, which I've got a 3-ton jack. That's way more than you need for a regular car. The jack stands came with it, so those are 3-ton jack stands. My driveway is made out of millings, so it's kind of this loose material, and even though it's freezing cold, I never trust that, so I always put these pieces of wood underneath just to give it some more, spread out the weight there. Something to know when you're doing this: you pick a point on the car to jack it up. Usually there is a spot where your car jack, in case you got a flat, would go, so try to find that, or the frame rail, but usually these are better. That's what I choose as far as picking the point to jack off of. And raise your jack up higher than you think, because then you want to lower it down onto your jack stand and make sure that they are stable. So one of the things you want to look at is make sure that all 4 corners of the jack stand are secured to the wood. Sometimes when you lower the jack stands, or lower the jack, it tilts these things, and that's not safe. The other key thing to know too is you always want 2 points of contact, no matter what you're doing. Even if it's going to be a quick thing, it's not going to take you very long, for your own safety. I've seen enough horrible videos of people having cars fall on them. So safety tip, definitely have 2 points of contact, and don't rely on the jack stand to be one of those points. Have 2 points plus your jack stand. Jack stand's actually not holding anything at the moment. It's just there in case I need it, but the 2 jack stands are what are holding up the car at the moment. So once you have all that established, you're satisfied that everything is secure, we got to go under the car there and check out the oil pan. And I've already looked, and I'm a little concerned about what I'm seeing, but I'll show you in a second, so hang tight. Okay, so front driver's side wheel, we're going under from the side, and what am I looking at? Well, pretty sure you can see that that's an exhaust. This is actually your transmission, and this wet thing over here, unfortunately for me, is the oil pan, and looks like I've got a leak, which is not good. My wife said that it was making funny noise. That's why I'm doing this, and I'm very concerned. This should not be wet. You can actually see drips of oil there, and so that's not the way it should go. But hopefully you crawl under your car and you find the back of the oil pan, and it's going to have this little nut there. So let me show you what that looks like. Alright, it's a pretty substantial nut there. Usually it's like that. Okay, so it is a 17 on this particular car. Doesn't mean it's going to be the same for everybody, but this car's got that, so that'll make it quicker for you to figure out. There we go. That's tightened. Okay. Once you break it loose, I'm gonna move my light. Hopefully you can still see what's going on here. You bring in one of these oil. One of these guys. Doesn't matter the brand. Doesn't really matter. All it is there to catch the oil. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna loosen it and catch the oil as it comes. And after we do that, then we are going to pull the oil filter out, but not until then. So you can see what's going on here. still too tight. Okay. Oh, she's in there. That's a nice rock in my mouth. Gloves are always key when doing this, because it's messy. Well, that's making me nervous. Why is it coming out so hard? There she goes. Okay, here we go. All right, another thing to remember is that these plugs always have a washer. That's a crush washer. That also needs to be changed just like the oil filter does. So do not forget that. If it does not come off with a bolt, you have to check the oil pan to make sure that it's not stuck on there and you put a double thing, and then you're sure to get a leak. So make sure you check that. So we're just going to let this sit for maybe 5 minutes, drain all the way out completely, and then we'll be back to take the oil filter out. Alright, so you can see it's kind of trickle, but I'm going to let it go until it stops dribbling. That's all the stuff that you want to get out of there. So got myself a new oil filter. The oil filter is hidden under the axle on this car over there, and so we are going to get our hands under there and screw it. I like to use these, which are just basically oil filter vice grips. You can use a whole bunch of different products to get it off. Generally you can't do it by hand, so you're gonna have to have something to assist you. They make a whole bunch of different products. You can go to the Autoport store and just ask them for an oil filter tool, and they'll show you the whole different thing. I just seem to like these the best, but you know, whatever you want to use is fine. So let me see if I can get a better shot of this oil filter for you. Okay. So Alright, next up, washer replacement. And before you reinstall the oil filter, two things you need to do. One of them is basically mandatory. Take a little bit of the new oil and run your finger around this gasket so that it's coated in a very light sheen of oil. That'll help the gaskets seat better. The other thing I like to do, if it's possible, as you saw, the oil filter on this car is installed this way, so you can fill this oil filter up with oil. Some cars, you install them and they're upside down, like a Subaru has a you install it this way, so that's not possible. So I'll fill this up here with some oil, and then we'll reinstall this new filter. Alright, so maybe 3 minutes has passed, 4 minutes has passed, and we got a very light drip. I don't know if you can see that on camera or not, but light drip out of the oil drain plug hole, and just a little remnants off the frame from the oil filter. So that's good enough for me. Let's reinstall the new filter and the plug here. Alright, so you want that on there tight, hand tight. Don't use any tools to cinch that on there. It doesn't have to be like really cranked down there hard. But so that one's done. And then we got to reinstall the plug here, and we are ready at that point to put no oil in. Let's see what we got here. Okay, now that we've got everything back together, drag out the old oil. Jack, use the jack to take the pressure off the jack stands, and then take the jack stands out. Alright, so we've got all the old oil out, we've got the old filter out, new filter installed, new washer on the drain plug, and drain plug installed. So now you gotta put new oil in. This is the oil that goes for my 2007 Honda Odyssey van. Easiest way to find that, if you don't know what it is either Google, or it's always in your owner's manual that's in your glove box. The other thing that's in your owner's manual is it'll tell you how much oil you need to put back in with and without an oil filter changed. So we changed the oil filter, so it's going to go with. So as I said, here's the oil capacity in the back of my owner's manual. So we got 4.5 quarts including filter. So that's how much we need to put back in, and so that's what we're going to do now. All right, go to your passenger or your driver's seat, and down over here, a little guy with a car. And you just pull it, and that opens your. All right, so you come into the front of the vehicle, you reach your hand underneath, and you feel for a little lever. And you push that lever to the side. It can be anywhere in this front area. Sometimes it can even be in the grill. You lift that lever up, and then you lift. Next thing you do is look for the hood latch here. That folds it up. Sometimes there's pistons that hold it up on its own. If not, it's usually attached right here in the front. Just kind of pull it to disconnect it, and then it goes into a hole designated. Mine actually has two, but one of these fits right in there. And then it holds itself. Here's that latch that we're lifting up. Now you can see it better. So you just lift, and you can see it unlatches it. When you're reaching underneath the hood, that's what you're doing. It's just moving. And then the next thing you need to find is your oil cap. It will tell you oil, the engine oil that it wants for the car. Like I said before, always check your owner's manual to make sure you're using the right type. Go ahead and just take the cap off. And generally you're going to need a some type of funnel to get the oil. Alright, so put that funnel right in there. And fill her up with 4 quarts. Alright, so we used one quart to fill up the oil filter, so we're going to use that same quart to give us the half. So on one side of your bottles of oil, you're going to see that there's a level there. It starts out at the very top. So somewhere in this vicinity, it doesn't have to be super exact, is the half. So that's what we're going to dump in there. Alright, after you give it a second, you drain out of your funnel there. Still got a little coming out, but replace your oil cap. And then we got to start the car, turn it back off, and check the oil level. Lastly, what you want to do is find your oil dipstick, which is this. Usually it's bright colored so you can find it, and check the oil after you run the engine. Clean it off. I'm just going to use my fingers. Usually towel is good, but I got overalls on. Just wipe it off on it. Put it all the way back in until it clicks, and then pull it back out. And as you can see, we're about 3/4, so we need to add just a little bit to make sure it's topped off. So that's what we'll do. Lastly, basically the oil change is done at this point, but everyone is always annoyed by the fact that the car will blink at you. Now these newer models will tell you that you need an oil change, so let's go do that part. Alright, so we're back in the car. I just reset it and then realized that I wasn't recording, so we're going to just do it this way. So my little like wrench icon was over here. and you just scroll through by pushing this, and you get to your oil life. It was at 15%, and when the oil light comes on, or the little wrench button comes on, it would give me a code right here. But I've already reset it. I'm just going to show you guys what you do to reset it. So you just hold this, push this in, hold it until it blinks. I don't know if it's going to do it when it's at 100%, but I'm going to give it a shot anyways. Like I said, I just did this, and somehow I lost it. Yeah, so there we go. So this is what happens. It'll blink, and then you press it down again, hold it again, and it'll reset to 100% oil life. Yep, there you go. Every car is different. Google is your friend, obviously, to figure out how to reset it, but especially if you're doing oil changes at home, you know, this is something that you want to do, because that light will come on the dash, freak you out. You know, every different car brand has their different ways of doing this. So if you don't know how to do it, just you know, search your year and make, model through Google on how to reset it. You most likely will find something. So this is how you do it on 2007 Honda Odyssey. Pretty simple, and then you're all set. You can scroll through. Hope you guys like this video. Please, if you like the content, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Really trying to make this channel work and gain some more subscribers, and put out interesting content. Give me any feedback you think, if I missed something, or you know, just, you know, give me a thumbs up, so I know you appreciate the video. Thanks so much, guys. Thanks for the support, and we'll see you again soon. All right, Shade Tree Mechanic out.